Now we are still pushing ahead to the frontiers of knowledge, pushing the boundaries of what we know. Now let us speak about the specific forms, literary forms found in the letters of Paul, specifically the diatribe. What's the diatribe all about? Well, the diatribe, when you hear something called the diatribe, you must know that the diatribe is a form of speech with the purpose of refuting or denouncing something. That's the diatribe. Refuting and denouncing something. That's the diatribe. Where did it originate? And what was the purpose of it? This diatribe originated from the schools, philosophical schools. And the purpose of the diatribe was to provoke learning among the students, among the philosophers of those times. And how was the provocation of learning done? Of course, the teacher could stand on the platform and then he could say that, and in the course of teaching, he anticipates a problem and he puts it in the mouths of the students, and then he asks them. And then from the answers which he will give, it will seem that there is something which he wanted to refute. I mean, that weakness which he maybe anticipated will be refuted. Now we ask ourselves, did Paul use this diatribe? Well, someone called Stoa. Stoa said that Paul used the diatribe. Where did he use it exactly? In the letter to the Romans. More specifically, when he's speaking about the circumcision of the Jews, and when he speaks about the Gentiles as the spiritual Jews, and also when he speaks about the abundance, or where weakness or where sin, where there was sin, grace abounded. It's also, he asks the question, should we continue sinning so that grace may abound? All these things show you that Paul is applying that diatribe within his letters. But now, it is Stoas who has suggested this. But the question to us comes, now if Paul used the diatribe, was he writing, when he was writing to the Romans, now was he writing to the philosophers? And if he was writing to the philosophers, now was he writing to the Romans? That's the question. And also, now we ask ourselves, from which philosophical schools then did he fetch the diatribe so as to use it? And how was that diatribe used in that philosophical school, from where he fetched that, from where it was fetched? These are the questions which he wants us to brainstorm and find out the answers. But actually we say that Paul had a creative mind. If he borrowed this rhetorical technique and applied it, we say that he borrowed it but used it creatively for his purpose. But also, Paul could have learned this diatribe from his Pharisaic training. He could have learned it from there, and he could have used it when writing his letters. So it is very important also to consider that fact. Now we ask ourselves, why did Paul use the diatribe in the letter to the Romans? Well, Paul used it because he anticipated problems that he could find among the Jews and Gentiles in the Christian community at Rome. So, having anticipated those problems, he wanted to tackle them even before arriving at Rome. So thank you for watching. That's about the diatribe. I'm going to also talk about the paranesis in the next lesson. Thank you for watching. I'm glad.